We were just at the Hamptons and our driver, Pierre, showed us all the most prestigious bathrooms in all the land.
Now I feel like a better person for that.
Yeah, well, I think that you're a worse person because of it. Hey, everybody. My name is Daniel.
I'm Paul.
And this is
the Dad Collective Podcast.
Every time we introduce this, we always jump back and forth of who says what. And I feel like the last few times, besides the harmony that I created 3 episodes ago, I never get to say the Dad Collective Podcast.
Oh, you want to give it a go?
Here we go. So you go first.
I'm Daniel.
No, you got to say your name.
Oh, man.
It's like an old 19...
Oh, who's on first?
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead. Sorry.
What's up, guys? I'm Paul.
And I'm Daniel.
And we're the
Dad Collective Podcast.
How'd that feel?
Live on
YouTube.
On the internet.
How'd that feel?
I like it better when I kick it off and you say the Dad Collective Podcast.
Okay, let's do it.
I made a huge misstep with that. Hi, guys. I'm Daniel.
I'm Paul.
And this is
the Dad Collective Podcast.
Live on YouTube.
Here we go.
And podcast streaming network channels.
The future is with us.
The future is now.
You always ask me how my week was.
I do that.
How was your week, Carson?
My week is great. As we mentioned in the last podcast, we are filming these in bulk. So what I said in the last podcast kind of pertains today, but we're revving up for some exciting things that are going down in the Fam Jam.
Such as?
I don't know if I should say it because I don't want to give anyone a point of time of when this is being filmed.
Okay, let's keep it a mystery.
Keep it a mystery. So, but I can say that this week, a funny story happened with Sunny.
What did Sunny do this week?
So I picked her up in the car.
Okay, I was going to say physically.
I physically picked her up and I physically threw her into the car. And in the car, we're driving home, and I'm picking up Joey and Sunny, and Joey goes to me, Daddy, Sunny got in trouble for saying the F word today.
Oh my goodness.
And then Sunny pipes in thinking she was going to argue and say no, I didn't. Or, kids deny shit. All kids are all liars. You'll learn that.
Yeah.
So Joey goes, Dad, Sunny said the F word today. And Sunny goes, I also said the fuck word. So she didn't understand.
So what was the first F word that she thought she said?
That is still a mystery to our family.
What F word?
Refrigerator with no
does she think is bad?
Yeah, she thought I think she actually said, I also said fuck you.
Do you remember?
And that's her accent, by the way.
I love it. That the first time Joey swore. You're not a big swearing guy.
I've sworn a lot on this podcast, I feel.
Yeah, it's probably because I'm rubbing off it. I swear a lot.
Yeah, I don't swear in casual conversation. And if this was a dating video and I was single without kids, I would say I don't love girls who curse casually.
That's on your red flag list?
Red flag list.
Really?
I don't like it in a casual sense. I don't mind it in a passionate sense or you hurt yourself and you swear. But I don't like girls who swear casually in conversations often. Once in a while.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it turns me off.
Wow.
Turns me off.
Wow. So Jamie never cusses?
No, not casually. It's not like she'll be telling me a story and be like, yeah, the other day I saw this fucking guy. She wouldn't do that.
So you must be shocked and appalled when you step into this household.
Jess doesn't really swear in front of me though.
You must tune out everything she talks about. Yeah,
I don't listen to.
Because
Jamie's trained me to not absorb or hear any other women.
Jeez,
no, I'm just joking. But no, I feel like she doesn't swear a lot around me. Maybe I tuned her out.
But your kids?
Yeah, so Sunny has a problem right now where she's cursing and swearing quite a bit.
Where'd she get that from?
I think listen, obviously we always told our kids, if we're talking about cursing and swearing, whatever that means, we always tell our kids, because they're old enough to understand that we don't care if they swear. Okay. We obviously tell them that they cannot swear at school or at camp or wherever they are. In the house, we don't mind swearing. We just don't like disrespect when it comes to swearing. So if Sunny dropped something and she said, what the fuck? Because she's done that, that's okay. But if she goes, I'm like, Sunny, go grab your socks, and she goes, fuck you, that's a different type of swearing.
Has that happened?
It has, but I didn't.
Is she really that passionate about not wearing socks?
Kids are just passionate about being lazy. They don't want to go get things that they don't want to go get.
So I was getting my hair cut, and
it was an awkward turn, but
watch. It's
tie it together.
It's all going to tie in.
Holy shit!
There it is. Now you just even prefaced it even more.
I'm scared.
she was asking me about the kid. Jess goes to the same place I go to. So she's like, oh, when's baby?
Oh, what's the name?
Jackson.
I feel like that could be it. Could we do this on one day that we're filming this? Can you say the real name, but don't tell me that it's the real name? I don't know the name. Don't tell me the name. And when the baby comes, I'll be like, oh, it was episode 9 or 6.
What makes you think I haven't been doing that?
I don't know. So, but if you haven't yet, do it.
So,
make me that promise.
I promise you.
Oh, God.
I promise.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, I'm getting my hair cut and she's washing my hair.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, when's, baby Jackson coming? And I was just like, December. And she's just like, yeah, I was like a weird kid. Like, I remember I went through a phase. I was like, this is interesting that you remember going through a phase. When I was around 1 or 2, I was like, no,
she's a liar.
Now you're a liar.
Liar.
And she's just like, I would always like somehow just end up taking off my diaper. And I was like, okay. And she's just like, and there was this one time where I was like crawling around on the floor and I went to the bathroom and it got all over the walls and all over everything. And then her dad came down and took a Polaroid picture and put it on the wall and said, shit happens.
I mean, the ending was at least a little funny, but so are you going back to this hairdresser? Because she sounds borderline insane.
No, that's just the person who was washing my hair.
Oh, the hair washer.
The hair washer. But shit happens.
Yeah, that's something a hair washer would say.
But then she was just like, sometimes you have to make light of a situation and make a dad joke out of it. And I was just like,
that's fine. I agree with that. Like that happens to me, but the fact that she's recalling this as a memory.
I feel like it was made up.
Yeah, it was either made up or she's trying to be funny, right?
It's just like, I feel like if I was a hair washing person washing about 20 heads a day,
you have to start making up stories to be
I would just have built-in stories, like a freaking ad lib.
If there's any hair washers out there, let us know if you're liars or if you tell the truth.
Shit does happen though.
Shit does happen. And speaking of shit happening right now, this podcast is happening.
It is.
And it's not shit.
It's not.
We're on our way to the top.
We are.
Tippity top. So today, though, is an exciting day because we're talking about, I mentioned that story of my kids picking them up and putting them in the car and putting my kids in the car, and what happens in the car and what happens when we're driving around is a big part of like our interactions and relationships together. And traveling in the car, sometimes it could be 2 minutes, it could be 2 hours, it could be 3 days. We've driven to Florida or flying, right? Traveling with kids is tough.
Like how tough? If you could rate it as a 1, which is
not
the
very
easiest
tough
thing you've ever done in your life.
It's like the Wagyu.
Sure.
Because it's not tough.
Oh,
and then you got a tough steak.
And then you're going to 10.
Overdone steak.
You're just like offending and canceling us to vegans.
No, come on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. You got to be careful what you say.
Come on.
We don't eat anything. We just
exist.
But how difficult was it, or is it, traveling with your kids? Because now your kids are more mobile. They're doing things. They're not just little blobs that you've mentioned they were before.
Yeah.
Now they're doing things. You got to do things with the kids.
You got to entertain.
You got to do things outside of your house.
Yes.
With the children.
I don't know. I mean, traveling with kids anywhere, whether it's flying or driving or anything, there's always going to be curveballs that come your way. You need to be prepared. You need to be ready for anything. So like, when we drove to Florida, it's an extreme case. Like we were ready for multiple things. We had
like
multiple.
What? Like we just have like,
so I'll tell you this. I'll tell you some good dad hacks that we did. Not the apocalypse, but I'll tell you this. If the apocalypse hit, we would have been ready because the car was prepped. So first of all, we have 3 kids. We're driving to Florida. So what do? We get 3 coolers, personal coolers that are filled with snacks for them that they could potentially reach because they're always hungry. They always need to be eating. But not only that, we took these coolers, which were like this high, and we put them below their feet so that their feet, if they wanted to rest them, so that, when you're sitting so long and your feet are dangling because kids' feet don't touch the ground.
They're not in car seats?
They're in car seats, so their feet are dangling. So these coolers give them a foot rest to rest on, which allows them to sit longer. So not only is it like a foot rest, but it's functional as it has snacks and treats and all that stuff in it. iPads need to be loaded. Don't depend on any type of LTE or Wi-Fi or any of that. Like download videos ready to go. That we talked about technology last week. That's the best part of technology, is like something to keep your kids distracted if you're going on long trips.
Yeah.
And so, and we had, oh my God, we had so many different things ready for this trip, but it's, you got to be ready because everything takes longer.
Didn't you say the other day when I was like, you didn't call it a vacation.
I called it like a relocation.
A relocation, because you don't really get to enjoy yourself.
No, traveling, you get enjoyment because you get enjoyment from being with your kids and all that, warm and gushy stuff.
So like,
but you don't get to relax.
I'm a great dad bullshit aside.
But you don't get to relax.
No.
There's
like,
no relaxing.
If you like,
you can't connect.
Can you have a 10 out of 10 vacation for yourself when your kids are there?
It depends on what you set yourself up for. So again,
it depends how low your expectations are.
It depends on what you want to get out of your vacation. If your vacation is meant to decompress and relax, no, it's not going to be that. If your vacation is if the goal is about making memories and having the best, most active time ever, then yeah, it could be fantastic. It could be a great vacation.
Are you?
But it's not a relaxing one. It will never be until you're older and they can, survive on their own.
Are you if you don't shut up, I'll turn this car around kind of dad? Do they buy it?
Not in so many words, and no, they don't buy it. But yes, we will like. Luckily, my long drive was pretty good. But like on short drive, sometimes I'm driving my kids to school, and just so you know,
how far is your school from your house?
It's like a 2-minute walk, not even.
So
like
why don't you walk them?
I usually would, and I usually do. But if I'm continuing to go, like let's say go to work or go do something else right after, where I'm not going home, it's just easier and quicker for me to just put them in the car, drive there, and continue on my way, as opposed to walking there and walking back and driving. So sometimes I drive, or the weather, if it's rainy or cold or whatever. Weather. It's Toronto. It's Toronto.
It's Toronto.
It's Toronto.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes even those short trips are nightmares, and like we'll get in the car and like, obviously the bathroom's a big thing. I have to go we just literally like said before we leave, does anyone have to go to the bathroom? Like we hear those like tropes and jokes and like things all the time, but it's really fucking true. Like you get in the car, you buckle them in, forget about all the time you got them prepped to go into the car. Like we talked last time, snowsuits and pants and all the shit you got to bundle them up with.
A lot of
bundling, and you can't bundle them too much because at certain ages they can't be in their car seats with winter jackets. It's a whole thing.
I really feel like I should be reading a book or two.
People tell you though at the time, or
I'm just gonna have a random person. Hey, you got too much shit on your kid.
Too much shit. I noticed that your kid's wearing.
I'll be like, creep. Why do you want to see my kid naked? Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here.
You know that he saved your kid's life. That stranger just saved your kid's life.
That's a heartwarming moment.
There you go.
It's a Hallmark movie.
But you mentioned last time that you said I love flying. I do. You do it. But I didn't even touch on the fact that like flying with kids is a whole other beast, and maybe that's why I wasn't as like I wasn't as enthusiastic about flying as you were, because flying now when it's with my family is like, it's very, it's you don't know how it's gonna go.
How'd you feel about flying before your family?
I mean, I never loved flying.
Like I actually like it.
What part of it do you like?
I just shut off my brain and watch movies.
Yeah. So once you're situated, once you're in your seat and you know that your carry-on luggage is in a secure spot and you don't need to gate check and like all that, those anxieties fade.
Oh, I always check bags.
It's great. It's great. Checker. Yeah, but they're so bad with it these days.
They are. Yeah, no, we traveled Europe for 2 weeks with like 2 carry-ons, a backpack. Yeah, it was crazy.
It's so much easier.
But I've seen the families in the airport, and I also think that was one of the reasons why we're so pro one kid, because
it seems like you're pro no kids at this point. Like you're so like, there's no, if they interfere with your life.
I'm not having a kid. This is an M. Night Shyamalan twist.
Boom. What a podcast. It's a twist.
But yeah, like honestly, I see families in the airport with multiple children looking stressed.
Yeah, it is stressful.
And then I see the family with the one cool kid who's like super cool and wearing like Vans and skinny jeans and denim shirts, and his hair is all cool
and spiky.
And I'm just like, there's the 3 of us just chilling, all watching our freaking movies on our iPads.
But your one kid can be a nightmare. Like you think that like you can be screaming on the, like, what would you do if your kid was screaming? Like, would you be embarrassed? Like, I know my answer because I'm living this, but would you, like, if your kid was the screaming, crying kid on an airplane, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Act like I don't know. Like, whose kid is this?
What are you going to do?
Why is there this kid sitting beside me?
What are you going to do?
I'm just going to give him an iPad.
When's he's like Bubba 6 months. You said you're traveling right away with them.
Yeah.
Were you flying? You said British Emperor. And where were you going again?
Bora Bora.
No, you said British.
I don't remember where we're going. But
what?
I know that we have a trip booked in.
I just wake up somewhere in a new country every day.
For the one time, I'm like the one in the relationship who books everything.
Yeah.
But we're traveling with Jess's grandparents.
British Virgin Islands.
Yes, I think so.
That's where you're
going. I think
going.
that's where we're going. It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
We also have a random listener there.
You have a random what?
We have a random listener in the British Virgin Islands.
Meet up with them.
And we have a random listener one.
Why does it have to be random? It could be intentional.
Because it's like one.
Yeah,
one listen, person. And then they're just like, well, I don't want to listen to this anymore.
It's that person from the last podcast who's putting the lipstick on his face and just making that list.
No, I feel like, so when did you do your first trip with Joey?
Right, like
right away.
Pretty much right away.
Yeah, see, it's funny because like I remember when Shill had Dylan, my first nephew.
Yeah.
They went to like Sayulita, Mexico.
Sometimes it's easier to travel when they're babies. Like, so that's what traveling with Atlas now, who's like 2.5, is a lot more daunting and overwhelming than like as a baby.
Knowledge of the world and the globe.
He's always talking back, telling me about the facts. No,
that was it's because about his name.
I know. Oh, I get it. Hold on, let me just absorb that. Okay, it was about traveling the world.
The world.
Atlas.
He's very knowledgeable about that subject.
You're a funny guy.
I am.
I got 98% in OAC geography. Just side note.
All right, Carmen Sandiego.
Mm-hmm. But 2.5 years old, he walks, he thinks for himself, he sees snacks, he wants things, he wants to hold magazine. Like he wants everything.
He wants to hold magazines.
But like, yeah, like he'll just like,
that's like an activity.
There's a rack of magazines, he'll want to go grab them, right? Like he just wants everything. But when they're a baby, it's like they're just, and I know this sounds bad, but they're almost like
carry-on luggage?
Not a carry-on luggage, but an accessory to your life.
Sure.
Because they sleep everywhere. Yeah. You know, if you're lucky, and most of the babies sleep well.
Yeah.
But they sleep everywhere. Like you could transfer them pretty easily. They stay many times, they stay in that. I mean, they can only stay in that bucket seat for so long. That snaps in to your car, and then you bring it onto the stroller. Like, you know how they transfer like that.
Yeah.
Right? Now, like my kids are old enough that they go out. Yeah, you got to get adapters. But anyways, they can travel and transfer well. Okay. Right? But when they're a little bit older, it gets way more difficult, and everything takes longer. So like I mentioned last week, like, you got to show up 2 hours early. You got to plan to be like 3.5 to 4. I mean, this is Toronto. We're talking about flying, at least to the States.
Yeah.
You got to show up 3.5 hours early because you have to like gate check your strollers.
I was going to ask about the stroller thing.
Yeah. So the stroller things, it's good the way they do it.
Do you have a travel stroller?
We have a travel stroller.
Okay.
We have a travel double stroller.
Does Joey still go in a stroller?
No. And Sunny doesn't really either. In fact, it wasn't until literally maybe a week ago, we took all the strollers out of Jamie's car, like the one that usually sat in the back.
Yeah.
Because none of my kids, unless we're going for a really long distance, like let's say we're going to the zoo,
yeah,
and we want to push Atlas around for a while, none of my kids go into strollers anymore.
Okay.
So that's nice because when you start to lose like big, heavy things, it makes traveling easier. Yeah. Like, when you have 3 little ones, then you have to figure out how they all get to walk around the airport. And now I think they could do it. So you go through tough times.
I have 2 comments about that. One.
Yes.
Have you ever gotten a bicycle for all of you? You've thought about it. You have. No, that's not where I was going.
That would be awesome.
So you had Joey and then Sunny came along. Yeah. When was the first time you traveled with those guys? With Sunny? Same,
like right away. We went to like Florida within the first few months.
Was there a part, and this will all tie into it. This might sound like it's random, but it's gonna.
No, I like it.
I can't make the baseball sound, but
so
add it in.
Shyamalan kind of
boom, baseball hit. So, was there a point where Joey? I don't want to say it was like a jealousy thing, but when she reverted back to being a baby. Like, did she?
Yeah, she still does that.
Does she? When she wants to?
Yeah, she'll fake cry.
Not fake cry, but like, I want to go in the stroller. Like, I'm tired. When she hasn't been in a stroller for months, but she sees Sunny doing it.
Yeah,
because I heard that's common.
It is very common, and I know other kids, multiple children. Like people that I know and their kids who have dealt with that.
Yeah.
Like I said, Joey's always been pretty mature, so she's been good with that. I can see Sunny doing that, like with Atlas. Yeah, wow. I can see her probably doing that for sure. Because she, still has that little kind of kid energy.
Yeah.
But acting like babies or acting young or wanting things that their little siblings have is common, and it definitely happens in my house as well.
Do you find when you're traveling with them that, like, obviously everything's kind of heightened when you're traveling, right? Like everything's like a bigger deal. If one kid does something, you're all kind of like on edge.
Yeah.
I'm just going back to when I was a kid, but do you notice that behavior just gets worse and you're like, what is going on? Like you guys are like, we're normal at home.
Yeah. When you break routines with any kids, it's literally a coin flip. So they could be great.
Okay.
So again, when we went to Disney, which is a good, trip to reference because there's so much stimulation and so many things going on.
Go to Disney again.
They were all really good. They handled staying up way past their bedtime well.
Yeah.
They had very few, like, if any, like meltdowns in the morning. Like they have more meltdowns like in our daily life in the morning when like they're up late. So last night we were out for my mom's birthday.
Yeah.
And so the kids were up to like 10:30, which is really late for all three of them.
Sure.
And like this morning they were like very cranky, like very, because they had to wake up for school.
I used to get that way after sleepovers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Whenever you fuck with your schedule, it's hard. But when we went to Disney, they crushed it. Like Joey walked the whole time, which is if you know Disney, it's so much walking.
Did you get like the speed pass stuff where you skip lines?
Everyone.
Yeah.
You have to. And I don't care how.
It is expensive.
It's so expensive. And I'm like you, I'm the planner. So like,
oh God.
There's times where I have to set my alarm for midnight.
Yeah.
To buy it's now Genie Plus. It's like it's not Speed Pass anymore. It's Genie Plus. And it's a whole thing. It was called Fast Pass. It's a Genie Plus thing. And then in the morning, it's 7 a.m. or 6 a.m., depending on what kind of pass you have. You got to start booking your rides quickly and slotting your times to get that preferred timing.
So it's all scheduled?
So you can schedule up to whatever, a certain amount.
I hate that.
It's bad, but it does work.
Like
it does work. They're adjusting
I get it. I don't like... I think when I travel, like I have a couple of rules when I travel that we don't need to go into because people are going to be like, I'm a pretentious prick.
Yep, I can hear that.
Yeah. But like it's, I don't like driving when I travel. Okay. And so this is also something I wanted to ask you because like we take Ubers all the time.
With kids.
But no, without kids.
I'm saying like with kids.
And you can't do that when you have a baby.
No. So when
like if I'm going to New York City.
You wouldn't get a car anyways. You'd Uber. But no, so here's a trick.
How do you do that?
You don't. Like we haven't brought any of our kids to New York because New York's a walking place. Yeah. You couldn't have your own car.
Do you remember when we went to New York for
I'm still paying off that credit card, by the way.
MTV audition.
Yeah, and I'm still paying off that credit card. Remember we went to a bar, we saw Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, well,
and this is when we were both making good like DJ money. Yeah. And I put my credit card down, you remember?
At the after party,
and I opened the bar for me, you, my cousin Vicky, and that bill was huge.
Well, I don't even remember every band was going on that bill,
and they were all going on my card.
And that was when they first signed with, this is a total sidebar, but with Jay-Z, and he was like 10 feet away from us.
Yeah, and Beyonce was there too.
We used to be so cool.
I missed that trip.
New York.
My cousins still talk about it.
I was in New York to audition to be an MTV VJ. That would have been like the best job in the world.
For like
at the time.
Now it would be like you'd be.
Well, I've had a couple of clients who were Much Music VJs, and
what are they doing now?
One of them's was doing e-talk.
Oh yeah.
But I don't want to give up my client list. But yeah, so like that was something I was really concerned about because like we do travel a lot, and
so
when we
choose
travel,
places, yeah.
So, but like, how do you take an Uber with a kid?
You don't. So
you just can't.
You don't. Like you could if it's a short trip, obviously with one kid. Like
so, I had to rent a car from the airport.
Yeah, we do that. So we'll rent a van. That's why we like. So we're driving to Florida again this March. We're gonna go again because we like it. We like our own car. We like not having to take them in and out. I enjoy it. I like driving.
Do you?
But yeah, every time we've gone to Florida or we've gone to California or whatever with them, we rent a van
with a different time zone.
Yeah, we've done California. We've done
train them before. How do you? You know how like people
just gotta keep them up later
before you go. Like people get a fake tan before they go away.
No, we don't. No, you don't.
You start like.
We've never traveled forward in time, I don't think. So I think that would make a difference. But when you travel back in time
to the future,
yeah, like when you're going to California, it's 8:00 here, it's 5:00 there. So if we want them to get onto their time, it's easier because we just keep them up later. So then the next morning, so that night they're very tired and they go to bed at 8:00 that time, and the next morning they're up at 7 a.m.
Is getting home like, do they get jet lagged? I don't feel like I get jet lagged, but
no, I don't think we've gone through such a big enough time.
You haven't done Europe or any of that stuff.
And also picking the times when you fly, right? That will be important. So you do that. You want to get there. You want to get to your destination as early in the day as possible for the most part, without having to wake up super early, because you need to acclimate to that environment. So timing and whatever. But if you're landing at like 8 or 9 o'clock at night.
That's
and then you have to like get into a van and travel. Like they're not going to bed, and then the rest of the trip can be ruined. So get there, make your first day a write-off, basically. Like don't expect anything out of it, and just get them to bed at the time that will set them up for success the next day.
So I know we've chatted about this off camera, and I think we wanted to make like a whole podcast on it.
Yeah.
Like, is it worth it traveling with them being that young? Like, or do you think you're creating these memories, which like, if you're a 6-month-old kid, you're not.
No, it's more about like you wanting to go like,
but you also said it's not relaxing. Like if you're taking a 6-month-old kid to Disney,
it's not relaxing, but you get enjoyment out of it.
Out of what?
Out of seeing your kid like in a new space.
I'm saying like a 6-month-year-old.
Yeah,
just get like a green screen. I'm in Delaware.
Yeah, but that's if you're only for posting. But I'm saying like
not for posting.
So for example, you're going away with your baby essentially where I think it's still cold in winter here, right? The baby's born in December and you're going away, what, 2-3 months after that?
I think we went away in March.
Yeah, March. So it's probably cold here still.
Yeah.
So like this will be the first time you're putting your baby with you, little, what did you say? What his name was?
Jackson.
I was going to say Maxwell. Jackson in a pool with you.
Yeah.
Right? Like you get to do all these fun things that are outside your realm. So yeah, it's kind of exhausting, but
can swim
with you. I wouldn't let them go.
Oh.
Although, have you seen those videos of like the babies, like they're as newborns put in water and they like float and turn over and like put their heads up and they like, or they instinctively
sounds like a horrible dream you had.
No, it's
a sea of babies turning around and waving at me. Yeah, like it's just like, who is it really for? Are they going to remember it? Do you want to spend that money going to Disney when like they can't go on Space Mountain? They can't go.
So what would you do? So what's your alternative of you getting away and achieving what you want in a holiday?
I'm asking. I don't know.
There isn't.
Like that's
your trips, my trips. So you find, hopefully you have an opportunity to get little trips for either just you and your wife, you and Jess, me and Jamie, you and your friends, or you by yourself.
Yeah.
But those are few and far between, and you can't do that often. So your trips for the next, large part of your life are based around enjoyment for your kids and not guaranteed relaxation for you. Enjoyment, you can get it because hopefully you enjoy being with your family.
Yeah, but like I've gone on vacations where I come back, I'm like, I need a vacation for the vacation.
Yeah.
But now it's all making sense.
But looking back, you'll wish you had those vacations again.
So now it's all making sense is why you guys all wanted to get bunk beds and go to a 2-star hotel together.
My God. It wasn't, first of all, it was a 5-star, although that is questionable.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, just...
Now it makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm just like, I have to go to New York this weekend. Like, I'm just
God.
Because I've traveled.
For us, it was like the freedom of saying, honestly, like the best part about our day there was that like 4 or 5 o'clock when we go back to the room after being there on the pool all day and like resting before dinner and just like lying in bed and like listening to music or reading a book, like, or watching our iPads or something. That was like worth it in itself, that 2-hour time frame.
How depressed were you on that flight home?
I was. It's always hard to leave, but there's also, and again, sounds cheesy, whatever. There's also an excitement of like, okay, like by the end, we've done it enough. We were all done.
Does your family to go back? Do like banners like "Welcome home, Daddy"?
No, they used to. I think we used to do that, but yeah, I like those acts of like
service,
kindness. I like those. I like surprises, not like surprise birthdays, but I like surprises. But
Joey,
there's always surprises.
Sonny,
when traveling.
Atlas,
yes. Do something nice for your dad.
Do something nice for your dad. He's hurting. He needs that hug.
I need that warm love. Well, listen, 2 years ago, like when I turned 39, I spent my birthday, although it was a fantastic birthday, in my bed.
You turned 39 2 years ago?
Yeah, I just turned 40.
Oh, I was like,
2 years ago, I turned 39.
I just thought we were a year older than we were.
Really?
I'm like, how old are we?
I turned 39.
Yeah.
I had COVID, went in the height of COVID, and I was in my room, and I didn't feel terrible, but I was definitely sick and contagious. And I stayed in my main master bedroom for like 4 days alone. Primary bedroom. Sorry, real estate. You're right. Yeah. We stayed in my primary bedroom. Pardon? Alone.
I'm surprised.
And I watched, and food was delivered to me, and I watched my iPad, and it was like,
I'm surprised no one's made a horror movie about that. Like an isolation COVID
Have you ever seen
horror movie.
my horror movie trailer I made for that?
Yeah, I meant like an actual horror movie.
Like a real movie with a budget?
With a real movie with actors.
There might be.
No, but like no one's done that. Like that's like
the pandemic just ended.
Because I know when I got it, my like brain fog was crazy.
Yeah.
My head felt like it was floating.
I feel like you haven't fully recovered.
No, that was from when I was a baby.
Yeah, I feel like you haven't fully recovered.
Just the brain fog continues.
Yeah, it just continues.
Yeah, like we have this trip planned, and luckily, like her grandparents are there. I think her mom and stepdad are coming, so like we'll have some time to like where they'll watch the baby. We can go out. Yeah,
that's so amazing.
You guys go to Florida a lot with Jamie's parents?
No, with my parents.
Your parents.
So my mom rents a place, and my dad rent a place down there for like essentially a month, like just under a month.
What part of Florida?
Aventura, where most of the Jews go.
Sure. We went to Cocoa Beach. That's where we used to go.
No, it's changed over the years. It used to be Fort Lauderdale. Like my bubby lived in Fort Lauderdale. That's where we used to go. But yeah, they rent a place, and we go down there and stay there for a little bit, because having the ability to, and again, you appreciate the small things, to like to go out, me and Jamie at night, to like the mall or Target or whatever, and not have to bring them, is such a fun hour.
It's so crazy what outings become when you have kids.
Yeah. And it's not even that you're old or out of touch. It's just like you just sometimes need changes.
To go to Walmart.
Walmart in the States is actually fantastic.
I love it. I like it better than Target.
I didn't know that. So I think we've talked about this before, but it really is great.
It is.
So yeah, traveling with your kids is wonderful, and it's overwhelming. But again, I mentioned earlier, you always have to be ready. So I mentioned like snacks, and I mentioned coolers, and the obvious stuff, but the little things
like what
matter too. And so funny enough, I was this happened to me the other day. Like a big problem in my house every morning, a big point of contention for me is looking for like hair elastics in the morning, because my kids want their hair up when they go to school.
Can you do an updo?
I can do every girl hairstyle now. I make braids, I do ponytails, I do high ones, I do low ones. Rachel? Well, that's a whole. No, I need my Dyson. I need everything for that.
Dyson.
But anyway, so looking for like hair elastics every morning is a task and overwhelming in itself. And I saw a video the other day. I was just going
to ask about, because you mentioned.
Yeah, you want to see this video?
Yeah.
So there's this video, the best dad hack I've seen in a while, of what this dad does when he can't find hair elastics in his house.
I'll put it up on the screen.
I'll put it up on the screen, but for you, I'll just put it here right
now.
I
love how like real podcasts have producers say, can you get that on
It's okay.
Hey Ralph, can you get that on the screen over here?
Just watch.
All right, give me this. That's on TikTok.
Here,
I've actually seen this.
Have you?
Yeah, let me see this. Dad did their hair this morning. How do you work your phone? Was this an iPhone 1? Oh, that's great. And I always have those on hand because of putting up sold signs.
Yeah, so for those of you that aren't watching the YouTube video, this dad used zip ties to put his girl's hair up, and he shows that it works.
It works.
It worked for him. And so again, dad hack, you got to do what you got to do to get him out the door as quick as possible, because it's all about speed. And someone who's late, if you don't adjust that quickly,
I'm screwed.
You're going to be, your whole life is going to just be late, like consistently late. And me and my family are never late, and I won't stand for it.
I can't wait.
I won't stand for it.
I cannot wait for you to be late one time.
I'm never late. And if I am late, it's because of Jamie or Joey or Sonny.
It's always
or
someone
Atlas.
else. Yeah. So we're talking on a grand scale.
Yes.
But there's lots of like little trips. Like
little trips.
Going to restaurants.
Yeah.
How did that go the first time?
Again, way easier as a baby. I remember my birthday and the day Joey was born is 2 days apart.
Yes.
So she was born September 8th. My birthday September 10th. And so I think like on not my first birthday, because she was literally 2 days old, so we weren't going out. But on my second birthday, my next birthday,
yes,
and she was just turned 1. We went to a restaurant, the three of us, and it was super easy. And she was quiet, and she was an easy baby, and she fed while we were there.
Are you like were you a screen family yet? Did she have like a screen of like, was she watching something on?
No. They don't watch that young. I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but like my kids didn't recognize. I mean, it's gotten younger and younger because older siblings, right? Yeah. Joey didn't see anyone doing it, so she didn't know about it.
She didn't think it was the norm.
But like Atlas is starting to like, he doesn't sit there for hours, but he watches like 20 minutes here and there. He wants to watch shit.
Are your kids wanderers?
Atlas is.
He just wanders around saying hi to random people at the restaurant?
He says hi to everybody. And he asks everybody. He asks everybody their names. Everybody.
Stranger danger.
And the best part is he doesn't go like, who's that? Like he's talking to us.
Did you just say name?
He goes, what's that? What's that?
Oh, jeez.
And so we're like, he wants to know your name.
That could get real bad if you misidentify someone's gender.
Yeah. Well, he's just, I mean,
that would ruin someone's day.
If you took it the wrong way, I think people will go pretty easy on a 2-year-old. So I don't think they're assuming that's what he means.
I don't.
So hopefully you and him never meet.
I'd karate chop.
You've never met Atlas, have you? In person?
I don't think so. He was a COVID baby.
Yeah, he was born in COVID.
He was born in the depths of COVID.
He crawled out of the virus.
Jeez.
Yeah, you haven't met him. I feel a lot of people haven't met him.
That's so strange.
He's just a social media star.
I don't like people asking me, what's that? I'll be like, what? Like my shirt?
That's why, you know what? That's why I've secretly kept him away.
Yeah, I'd be offended.
How sensitive you are.
I'd write a blog post about it.
So is there any trips that you're excited to take your kids on? Like your kid. Sorry.
I'm like my child.
And you said Disney already, but like, is there any like special thing you want to do with your son?
Well, I heard that they're doing a whole Marvel land. They're adding a whole other world to Disney. And it's going to be like Wakanda and like Asgard and all the other Marvel places that New York City from Spider-Man.
Probably. And the crazy thing is that all those
I'm excited for that kind of stuff.
There's a lot of superhero stuff in Universal that I think has to be taken out now that the rights from
that all got changed.
Over. Yeah.
So I remember because we went to Florida as kids as well. We would drive there as well.
And so when you drove there, sorry to jump in, but like you didn't have iPads. Like, what did you do for that amount of time? Do you remember like what your parents did to kind of keep you guys at bay? Like, what did you do in the car?
I read a lot. I used to be a big reader.
Yeah. But that's your memories, just reading the whole trip?
My memory, if we want to talk about memories when we're away.
I do.
This is what my parents used to do to me.
Yeah.
So like this was before the internet and indoor plumbing and running water.
Yeah.
And we were in our wagon with our horses going west. No, so we'd all be in the minivan.
Yeah.
Black Lumina,
It's a good one.
Rows of seats.
Yeah.
And this was before being able to book hotels online.
Yeah, as you're driving.
You know what I mean? And then so you'd have to like pull up to hotels. Hey, you got any vacancy?
Any availability?
Exactly. No, exactly. Right. And my parents used to tell me that we were lost all the time.
What do you mean while driving?
While driving at nighttime, being like, oh, we don't know where we are. I was like, oh, how far is the hotel? And
there's no GPS either. So it's like.
And they knew they were going. My dad is like an engineer. He'd had maps for days of friggin' everything of where to go, right? And those books. Do you remember the books? But they would always just joke around with me saying that they were lost. And
so
I would believe
traumatized?
them, and I was just crying. So now I just always carry around a compass wherever I go. If you see me on the street and I don't have a compass,
then what?
You'll just know I'm a liar.
You know
that. But that story was true.
You know that you're lost.
Yeah. But like, no, seriously, that's what they would do.
But that doesn't keep you entertained. That keeps you frightened. Like, so like, did they give you like coloring books?
Yeah,
did you have snacks and shit? Like,
I feel like my mom and dad, or probably my mom, would go to like, I don't know, like a dollar store or something and get like random just shit that I've never seen before. But I was very big into reading from an early kid. I would always listen to music.
What was your book of choice?
I always read.
Was it like Judy Blume shit?
No, like R.L. Stein.
Oh yeah, Goosebumps we loved.
Well, that's not R.L. Stein.
Yes, it is. Anyways, isn't it?
No, it was a different person.
No, R.L. Stein wrote
Goosebumps after. It didn't start as Goosebumps. We can fact check this. Check it. Ralph. Fact. We don't have a Ralph.
We don't have a Ralph.
If we did have a guy, I'd name him Ralph.
No, R.L. Stein wrote Goosebumps.
I think that was someone different. It doesn't matter.
It does matter. I'm Googling.
No,
it. Keep talking.
Do not Google it. It was like L.J. Smith and what were the sports books? Christopher.
Oh yeah, those were good too.
What were those? Like big dude and a big batter on third. I don't remember what they're called. I would read a lot. We would color.
Goosebumps is a series of horror novels written by American author R.L. Stein.
I don't speak English anymore. What am I thinking of? There was another series that.
Oh, you remember the scary stories to tell at midnight and that whole series?
Yeah, we used to write those.
No, but like the original one, scary stories to tell in the dark.
Yeah, it came out with a movie.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man, fun! So this is hilarious. So I went to go see that. I see a lot of movies in theaters. So yeah. I was in the theater watching that movie.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was fine. But I pocket dialed my mom during a murder scene. Like she'll comment on this 100%. I pocket dialed my mom while there was like someone running and it was a dude getting murdered in his voice.
And so, what happened?
I had because this was like midway through the movie. I'm not joking, like 30 missed calls from my mom. Text me like, what's going on?
You're lucky
you okay?
she didn't. That the cops didn't show up because she have like find your phone or anything.
I don't have that with my mom.
You don't have like a connection, like they can trace you. Not with your mom.
You are 40 years old. Why does your mom have a GPS on you?
That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if your mom thought you were being murdered after 30 missed calls, she might call the cops and they can track your phone because of the technology in your phone.
My mom doesn't know how to go on Facebook.
911.
You think she's going to GPS track me with robots?
Not her, the police, when she calls them.
Anyways, I guess she doesn't care about me that much.
Stop trying to justify why your mom doesn't love you.
No, but that happened. It was like a full-out murder scene, muffled in my pocket. I was dying.
That's insane.
I was dying. Yeah, that
Did you call her instantly after when you saw the calls? Or did you let her sweat till the next day?
It's me. Probably.
Garbage. Oh God.
They were like planning the funeral already.
Oh my God. So flip that for a second. Yeah. What would you have done? Like if that was you and it was your kid, you'd probably go insane.
Yeah.
Like imagine all the things that you tortured your mom with. Just hope to God that your little Jackson doesn't do it to you.
Well, that wasn't intentional, but that would be a hilarious prank.
I feel like the Jackass guys would do something like that.
That's like, that's pretty intense. I was actually impressed with myself, even though if I didn't do it, I'll own it.
You're an accidental genius.
I'll own it. I will.
Take it.
But that's
run with it.
Yeah. So that was that. But do you remember going to like your first movie with the kids?
Traveling to my kids. Yeah, I remember. Again, I feel like most of my first memories are with Joey because
she's your favorite.
No, she's my favorite. It's just like if it's like the first time ever, right? Like Sunny
that's what I care
It is
about.
what it is.
I don't
right?
care. No one cares about the middle kid.
Yeah.
You care even less about the
little Sunny.
No, Sunny's hilarious.
Oh my God, they're all so good.
Yeah, so good.
I'm like excited to get home,
staring at you until you wake up
and threatening the cubby bowl scissors. Don't forget that story. Yeah. I got more.
But the movie.
But yeah, going to see a movie.
Yeah,
they don't sit at first. They don't sit at first. Both Sunny and Joey just went to see the Taylor Swift movie.
How was that? Did you get to go?
I didn't go.
I would be.
Jamie went. It was a nice little boys' day for us.
Fight over it?
I said you take them. I don't want to go.
You turned down going to see the Taylor Swift Eras?
I can see it. It's a movie. It's not the real concert.
I know, but like it's Taylor.
Yeah, she is fantastic.
Yeah,
but I didn't want to get down with any of that because Jamie filmed what happened in the theater and they're just up dancing and jumping and spinning around and singing. That's all. Haven't you seen? Everyone films it like a concert.
Everyone's bootlegging.
Yeah, they're filming it like a concert.
We used to buy those DVDs.
It's so funny. Yeah, we used to love those DVDs. Yeah. I remember all that. But yeah, all those kind of trips are great, and you got to know the ins and outs because everything takes longer. So anything you can do to shave off time and to make it as easy, like you got to do what works. If iPads, people talk about screen time. If iPads keep them quiet in the car or on a plane for 2 hours, then that's the battle you should just not fucking fight and let them have it because it makes your life easier.
Was that a thing for you guys? Did you go in being like, oh, we're not going to do screens? Like it's going to be about
we definitely, people say I don't want screen time. And I don't know what kind of studies or scientific things are out there. I don't think they've been around long enough, but then I just equate it back to like, I was a big TV kid as much as you were, right? Like we were really into TV. And I think most of like my wit, my humor, my quickness, my education came from TV, and I was exposed a lot. Like I was exposed to like, great comedy writing or great movies.
My whole personality is movie quotes.
Exactly. And so like, I think that benefits you. And I'm not saying that crazy screen time will benefit kids, but like proper consumption of what they're doing while they're on there is a big difference.
Yeah, but that was like Friday nights for us, like going to the movies. Like that was
my kids, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Like that.
But I would come home every day from school and like watch TV from like if I wasn't going to a friend's house, I'd watch or playing outside, which we did a lot. I was watching TV from like 4 till bedtime. Like I watched 5 hours of TV straight, no problem. Or Saturday morning. No, I watched TV all the time. My parents worked late, so like they didn't get home till late. So what am I gonna do? I sit there and I watch TV.
I played a lot of video games too.
And video games, right? Screens is, in other words, screens. But we also played outside. But again, I think that screens and all that stuff are okay. More so when you're traveling and you're just doing whatever you can. And we can say that, oh, well, we didn't have it, but we survived. Like some older people might say that. Like you guys didn't have. But like, we get conveniences in our lives to make our lives easier if you use it right? We didn't have the internet back then, but like it makes your life easier. They didn't used to have like cars, but moving from horses to cars made life easier. It's called about human progression, and if you use it properly, and anything in moderation, it's fine. Nothing's gonna fucking break your kids in a day.
Are your kids? I know you do AI bedtime stories with Joey, but like, are there other areas like of your life? Like, fun fact, our whole podcast is edited on AI. Well, the majority of it, right?
Yeah, like cutting from like
camera to camera, like it's crazy. But like,
makes life easier. Use it right.
Does that like worry you a little bit that their kids like how for us to go plagiarize when we were kids?
Oh, I wouldn't know how to be like a high school teacher now.
No, I honestly, like the way that our brains work.
Whoever can reverse engineer it will make a lot of money.
But
right?
it's like
a software who just because they had that, right? Yeah. Like when we were in university, they had the like a scanner thing that scanned it for plagiarism.
Yeah.
You send it or something, like some sort of whatever that you have to upload your project to.
When did you say you're going to Florida again?
We're going to be going back in March.
Okay. So what I want you to do.
Yeah. Is film
horrible? Not at all.
Interactions.
You can literally go on AI and plan your trip on AI, your whole itinerary.
I don't need to plan my trip. You know what my trip is?
No, I'm just saying like, okay, so let's go, take me down this route. And at 2 p.m. on Tuesday, I want to try a restaurant, a burger place. That's the best in that city.
That's cool.
You can literally do that. It can plan your whole route.
That's cool.
Right? So like, I feel like with traveling, you could be like, hey, I'm start my route in Toronto, going to this address in Florida. Find me 5 kid-friendly places on the way to stop at. Like attractions.
You
know what I mean?
That definitely would help plan it. I'll tell you this. So if you try to live by that, like there's one thing that's stronger and more powerful than AI, and that's a kid's brain and motivation to fuck your whole plans up, right? Like,
what do you mean?
So I don't know if that made any sense, but let's say I'm like, okay, I have this plan. AI's planned this whole trip out for me. We're going to stop at this cool place, this cool place. But over here, right after you left that cool place,
your kid vomits all over.
Kid throws up, shits himself, pisses all over the floor, spills their whole drink, screaming and crying because someone else took something. And so you have to get off. And so like the most important thing about traveling with kids, no matter what distance, is
buffer room,
is buffer space, and being so flexible and willing to be like, okay, shit's not going as planned. Because if you try to stick to a plan, 9 times out of 10, your plan will be disappointing.
Have you tried to synchronize
our cycles?
No, well, yeah, kind of like your bathroom breaks.
Yeah, you have to do that.
What if they just don't have to go? Has
we
anyone
make
peed
them
in a bottle?
No. Because so one thing I did plan out on my trip to Florida is like there's a way that's faster that takes, let's say, about 22 hours if you drove straight, and there's a way that takes 24 hours.
I thought it was 27. No, it doesn't.
No, it's maybe it used to be, 22. But there's more high. 22 or 24. There's 2 different ways from Toronto to get there, pretty much. And we took the longer one, 24, because it has a pull off the highway at every 5 to 10 minutes. You could like get off.
Remember when you laughed at me when I said that the driver from New York to the Hamptons knew every single amazing bathroom on the way?
Yeah,
it's
I laughed.
The same.
I laughed at you because you said the Hamptons, not because you said that your drive. It was the whole story.
The Hamptons is pretty.
We were just at the Hamptons, and our driver Pierre showed us all the most prestigious bathrooms in all the land.
Now I feel like a better person for that.
Yeah, well, I think that you're a worse person because of it.
No, man.
I just flipped that switch. I'm like Drake. I just flipped the switch. Flip. Me and Joey made that video in Florida. Funny enough, have you ever seen that viral video where they switch clothes?
Have you switched clothes with Joey?
It was a viral video where it's like, I just flipped the switch.
Like your video actually went viral?
And then our video I think got 100 views. But it's a viral trend.
Yeah, no, I get it. I know what you're talking about.
The internet's made up of all these trends and memes. Cat holding up.
So
I don't know, what was I saying? I don't even remember.
Well, I've got a question. So I've heard a lot of people do like a practice trip, right?
What's a practice trip?
No, well, just kind of see like you do like a weekend.
Oh yeah, you don't try to take something on too heavy. Yeah,
like did you kind of like just ease into it?
I mean, again, we travel often to Florida, and I think Florida is a great practice trip because A, it's a quick flight. B, there's no time change. C, you're guaranteed probably pretty decent weather, so it's like good conditions. And 4, it's like for us Canadians, it's like pretty much Canada, but better. So it's the States, and you got all, lots of all the amenities, as opposed to going to like Hawaii and like, which is the States obviously as well, but going, let's say, somewhere else, Thailand.
For a guy who named his kid Atlas and says that he got 96%.
Well, I was just thinking of like the small island in Hawaii where there wasn't as many as like, Americanized stores that you can, if you need medicine, if you need, like we've had to take our kids multiple times to like doctors when we're in like the States, just because like they have a cough or a cold, they caught something while traveling, and that access makes the trip easier, right? So in other words, yes, it's a practice trip because we're not going somewhere exotic. We're not going to Bali or somewhere like where you don't know how things are going to be or how easy it's, certain things are going to be accessible.
Can you see yourself in a world where like you and Atlas do like a boys trip?
Yes.
Yeah. What's on the list for that one?
I had a trip. Yeah. I mean, it's so funny. Like that would probably be 100%. It is like musicals, but to be honest, again, it's not as much of a sports guy as I am.
Yeah.
The act of going to games, especially baseball games, to me are fun. Like I like the whole experience. I like hot dogs. I like the atmosphere. I like open stadiums. I like, I just like that energy at a baseball game. Yeah. I like that it's slower pace. It's not so, it's like you can relax. And I always had but a plan to do a trip like that with like some friends. Like I was going to do something like that with Josh, where we we're going to drive across the States and just go to a bunch of baseball games and different whatever, which we thought would be fun when we were in like, early university, late high school.
Can you name 3 current baseball players right now?
We're not here to test me. What I'm trying to do is that I think that would be fun for me and Atlas to like, again, it would be even funnier if we both don't even like baseball, but just like hanging out together. And it's like, you're going on these trips and you have these kind of places, but really it's about the journey, not the destination.
I feel like there's a podcast about that. A son and a father who do,
really?
Yeah.
Maybe if this one's successful, we can start that one if it doesn't exist.
Yeah. I feel like it should be like Eugene Levy and Dan.
That would be good. Although I feel like they need to come back with a bang.
Yeah.
But you were telling me that you're going away in March.
Yes.
Why don't you convince Jess to come to Florida with us? Because we're there in March. Like,
because we're going to.
Yeah, but such your trip. No. Why do you act as if that's such an outlandish request?
Because like we're going with your grandparents.
Yeah. So let's cancel on them.
Yeah. That's going to go over well. You got extra space at your place?
But do you have flexibility on the trip? Like if you were going there for a week, could you like extend your trip and go away?
We don't even know distances here.
How long are you going for?
I think it's 10 days.
10 days.
Yeah. Okay. 10 days.
Yeah. So if go away for like 15 days and come to Florida for 5 days.
Yeah, just
it'll be fun. Won't you see your little boys play together?
He's going to be 3 months old.
Yeah,
what's he gonna? From everything I've heard from you, they're little blobs that don't do it. They can't even smile. They can't move their face.
They can't do anything.
Freaking like the thing.
It's like
you got a lot of heat about not liking your kids.
Oh my god! Well, a lot of people attributed it to like postpartum.
Yeah, which can happen to guys.
Of course, it can happen, but it wasn't a sadness. It was just like,
is there prepartum depression?
Probably.
Yeah.
If you feel it, it exists in this world. So
feelings are facts.
Your
apparently.
feelings are whatever you feel, whatever your reality is true.
Has Jamie gone on a Just Girls trip?
Yeah. So Jamie, we've actually done some separate trips before. Jamie took.
You have 2 girls. It's really not that hard.
No, but I'm trying to remember. Like we've done a few trips. Like I think she took Joey and Sunny to California. Yeah. I think she's taken Joey to Ottawa for 3 weeks because she filmed with her there.
Okay. That's not a trip. That's work.
I don't think Sunny has gone anywhere with just Jamie away. But, sorry. I made a mistake. Joey took just Sunny to California when she was a baby.
Joey took Sunny to California when she was a baby.
It's late, man. It's late. Jamie, we have a lot of J's in our family. Jamie took, let me just draw this out. Jamie took Sunny to California when she was just a baby. And I was home with Joey.
Oh, okay.
That's what I think happened because she was still breastfeeding.
Was it stressful for her?
And she had her mom there with her, which helps a lot. Again, if you're traveling, like you said, you're going, with her grandma.
Yeah.
And her parents going to or no?
Yeah, I believe so.
Having that support whenever on your first trip is your practice round. You're not on your own completely. And that is a huge help when traveling, is bringing someone to not only share the load, but also someone that, just another hand to trust taking care of your kid.
Yeah, like I've seen families travel with like an au pair.
With no what?
With an au pair.
What's an au pair?
It's like a. Like
Why do you don't like fucking nanny. Smile at me like you're better than me? Like don't like you're like, oh, you don't know what an au pair is. I know exactly what that look was, and I will not stand for it.
Every time I think of the word au pair, I think
you want to punch your face until it collapses.
I think of like Handmaid's Tale.
I never watched it. I watched the beginning, and then it scared me, and I stopped.
Jess and I she took me to Turks and Caicos for one of my birthdays.
Yes.
And
did you have an au pair?
No, but we were
to take care of your little self.
I forget what we did. Like we went to go like horseback riding or something, and there were like
yes,
it was on like a shuttle type thing, and there
like
was like
a horse with a shuttle.
There was like a little kid there with her au pair
on her own.
Just the two of them.
Sorry. So what's the difference between an au pair and a nanny? Because for those of you at home who are watching,
I actually don't.
Speaking, what's the difference? Know. Au pair.
I've always called it an au pair. Stop Googling things.
No, people are. Ralph. You know what I hate when I listen to podcasts is when people ask a question, don't have the answer, and then I'm like, oh, what is it? And then while I'm driving, I'm looking it up, and then I'm going to get into a car accident, and then I blame the podcast, and all of a sudden we ruin lives.
Insurance doesn't.
Au pair is a helper. Okay, I don't know how politically correct this is, but it's on Wikipedia.
No, don't say that.
It's it's not terrible. It's Wikipedia, but it just says the first sentence is a little overwhelming. An au pair is a helper from a foreign country working for and living for as part of a host family. It makes him feel like such an object.
Wait, are we not allowed to say au pair?
It doesn't say that it's.
Is it cancelable?
That's a good question. It doesn't say.
Are we going to get canceled?
So usually this is another hack. Not a, excuse me, my voice is cracking. Not a dad hack, but just a hack in life. If you ever think that something might be no longer acceptable, because listen, let's face it, things evolve and things change, and I'm all for that. If you go on Wikipedia and looking it up, usually there's an area, like a section on there that says like controversies or something.
So
and
it's
you're
not,
like,
there's
no controversy on it, and it's not saying like controversial in any way.
I don't know why I would call it the au pair.
Well, let's be honest. In Canada, or at least in Toronto, most helpers or nannies are from a foreign country. There's not a lot of, or at least in the circles that I know, like Toronto born nannies. Toronto's a big when it comes to immigration of that whole nanny world.
Have you traveled? I
had a buddy in the industry.
Because you guys don't have a nanny, do you?
No, we did briefly.
Did you travel with her?
No.
Okay. Because that's like, I think that's kind of like if you can.
So again, it's a catch-20. I don't know if it's a catch-22, but it's a two-sided coin. So a lot of times we travel, we have parents, which is great. You get that helper, but you also get to spend time with somebody that, again, typically you care for. And I know that's not for every family, but not implying that it's anyone that I know. I'm just saying not all families are the same.
He's calling you out.
I'm calling you out. But when you're traveling with a nanny, yeah, you have the benefits of all that stuff. But there's also at least for me, there's a little bit of, I just feel awkward that they're there on a job, on a family vacation, and just being a part of the family, but not necessarily being really a part of the family. No, even if they've been there for a while, obviously they become a part of your family. Mm-hmm. But just I don't know. I don't have the gumption to do that. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I just don't. I would feel uncomfortable on a trip that's supposed to make me feel relaxed because I have this other person there.
Don't make you feel relaxed.
You know what I mean? Like a trip that I'm supposed to enjoy, I'd feel uncomfortable.
Gotcha.
At least that's for me. What do you think? I don't know. Maybe I'm just I overthink how other people feel, and I can feel much like Larry David. I can feel other people's uncomfortableness, and sometimes you can care about it or not. But I don't like feeling somebody else is uncomfortable
because it makes you uncomfortable.
It makes me uncomfortable.
That's an uncomfortable train.
It's an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah, I feel like if it's gonna make it easier, my biggest thing is Ubers because I hate driving when I'm away.
But where? So give me an example. Where would you be? Why don't you drive when you're away? I can understand New York, Chicago, even driving there would be a nightmare.
When I go to even LA, the first couple, because I've gone.
Even LA's a nightmare to drive in. So
but still, I rented a car the first couple, the last 3 years, because our office is based in LA. I've gone quite a few times.
Yeah.
And we've done the drive from LA to Palm Springs, I did that like 4 times in 2 years.
And you don't like it?
It's a cool drive the first time you do it, but it's literally a 4-hour drive. But it's just like parking the car, finding the parking, knowing like.
But you just do that at the end though.
But not if you're out and about. So I'd rather just Uber.
Yeah. And no, like, for sure. Ubering is easier. But again,
is there no Uber
you're not going to
be
out and about that often. Your
but if
trips
you're going
are
out
going
for
to change.
If you're going out for dinner.
But that's out. That's not about. So in other words, when you're in California now, you're going to go to maybe this store. You're going to go for brunch. You're going to go do this. You're not going to be moving around as much when you have a kid. Hopefully you get a place that's comfortable where you can set up shop.
Yeah.
You're going to spend time at the hotel or place's pool.
Okay.
You're going to be going out way less because it's a mission to do things, Uber or not. Like it's a mission. So my Florida trip is us hanging out mostly by the pool and like going for lunch down the street. Like we don't leave like a small square block of where we're staying because our trips have changed. We're not going to South Beach. We're not going down to Miami and having a fancy late night dinner.
I get that. Like, have you?
So in other words, driving isn't as daunting because you try to drive as little as possible.
Do you rent car seats? Like, does that?
Yeah, you can rent. So we carry on. So we get like plane. And again, this is about traveling with kids. And one thing you need to know is like, yeah, you have to decide whether you're going to rent and risk it A, not being there, B, being broken, C, being like up to your like standard, or D, carrying. And we got like travel car seats, so like car seats that are lighter to hold.
Sure.
And that's the other thing is you show up at an airport early and you're now a dolly person. Like I'm pulling dolly in the front.
Never used a dolly.
But you're pulling the dolly and you're putting all your suitcases. You're putting your, not your stroller because you're using it to walk to the airport, but you have your stroller and you have like 1 or 2 or 3 car seats, which is again why me and Jamie, if we have the time, would love to drive, because then we're not moving all these things in and out of things. We're just like getting in our car in our driveway and getting to our final destination over a few days. And during those days, we are eating and going to the bathroom and having a good time.
Yeah, I just like
driving.
There's so many things like packing. If I am traveling, like I'm a last minute. I am such a last minute traveler.
Yeah.
Within like
not anymore.
There has been times where like if I've gone to SNL, like I get the call the night before.
Get the call.
I do that. I got a ticket.
But nobody
right?
understands what that means. If they don't know you, like you're sounding as if like you're gonna go, like you're gonna be the special guest.
Yeah, a special guest on SNL. No, so like I've had friends who have performed on SNL, and I find out on the Friday at 9 p.m. that they got me on the guest list, and I have been at the airport at 7 a.m. and done 5 days in New York on like hotel booked. Everything.
Yeah.
Within like an hour or two.
No, now you plan.
Now I can't do that.
Can't do that. I mean, if you're going alone still, you can, but
I can't travel alone.
Yes, you can.
Well, I can.
You'll still go away. Like again,
I have work stuff. Yeah. But like,
not just second, but just from a kid
So
perspective.
do work trips now or just like such a breeze?
Are great.
Because you just like,
they're
just
good.
like dancing through the airport. Like
it's nice. It's nice to go on trips by yourself. It's nice to go on trips with your family. They are different experiences.
Yeah.
They are a different trip. You can go to Florida by yourself, or you can go to Florida with your family. You can go anywhere, but it's a different trip. You have to be ready for it. And the more prepared you are with things to satisfy their monstrous needs, prepare. And so there is no more last minute. Having the diapers at hand,
just gonna say
having the things ready to go, it makes your life easier. It makes the trip better.
So has like dad life traveling given you new hacks for non-dad life traveling? Like, do you feel like you're a different traveler?
Well, I'm a smaller traveler. So I used to be, us, like we love clothes, we hair product, all these things. And so when I used to travel before kids, I would bring a big suitcase and check it.
Always check.
Because you don't know what you're going to wear.
Yeah.
Now when I travel alone, it's like, no matter where I'm going, how long, it's a carry-on. And I know exactly what I need to put in there. Like, I'm not going to have one item of clothing that goes unworn.
Wow.
Like so it's because you got to scale down.
Do you overpack on anything?
Nothing.
I always overpack on underwear and socks. Always.
Yeah. So I definitely pack.
Like if you're going away for 5 days, how many pairs of underwear do you bring?
If I'm going away for 5 days, I usually bring 6. I'll bring 1 extra, knowing
6.
Yeah,
I bring 12.
Why?
I plan on 2 pairs of underwear because I also go to the gym every day.
But again, it depends on where you're going. So again, if you're going to
it doesn't matter.
Well, let me tell you why.
All right, let's hear it.
When I went just this trip we went with our boys, not you, but me and Jeremy and Schreiber, we went to the Dominican all-inclusive.
Yeah.
I didn't wear underwear until like Well, you're in your bathing suit all day. You
also went through a phase where...
That's okay, but that doesn't matter. Yes, there was a time in my life I never wore underwear.
How many days did you go? You counted.
I went like 3 years. What do you mean days?
No,
I went like 3 years.
It wasn't
yes,
3
it
days.
was.
Without wearing underwear?
Yeah, I didn't wear underwear for like 3 years of high school.
Why?
I'll tell you why.
There was a reason.
There is a reason.
Okay.
Back then, I don't know if they exist or didn't exist yet, or if underwear evolved. It was mostly like boxers. That's what like we wore, right? You wore boxers, I wore boxers. There was no like Under Armour or like Lululemon or like.
You also
tighter.
went through a weird Lululemon underwear phase.
Now I just wear mostly Under Armour.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
No free brand deals. We'll bleep that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Under Armour.
Yeah, change the name like a sitcom where it's like, oh, it's like Smoke-a-Cola.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I just was super uncomfortable in boxers. They'd bunch up like crazy, and I wasn't gonna be the kid who wore like tighty whities because there was no in between like what we have now. So I'm just like, fuck, I don't even need underwear, and I stopped wearing it. I didn't feel a need to wear underwear.
Was it liberating?
Honestly, it made no difference. I mean, I was more comfortable.
Made no difference.
I didn't feel like...
You're debunking a whole industry that says it makes a difference.
No, now you need to... I do believe underwear is important because the reason why I went back to underwear is because I had a mishap with the zipper. Not as bad as like... what's that movie? Something About Mary?
Yeah.
Not that bad.
Oh,
but
I did above. He's like, you got it above.
Yeah, he like skipped. I don't even
How'd
know how
you
he
do
did
that?
Exactly. So no, I had some zipper issues. And
you got a second circumcision.
Like, yeah, now Jamie's even more upset because I lost another inch at a young age.
You need every single one of those.
Isn't it funny how we start talking about like traveling with your kids and we end up with like me zipping off the tip of my dick? Although we did talk about circumcision quite a bit.
We have talked about it.
So it does fit
it's
in the dad life. But anyways, Paul, like I think you're going to experience what traveling is with a kid. And as long as you're open to it not being whatever you thought it should be or used to be, just put everything you thought about taking a trip aside because it will never be the same unless you're not going with your family.
Because then it's better.
It's different type of trip. Your trips mean something different now, and it's just about creating those moments and memories, and it's great. So I wish you good luck on your trip, and if you can like squeeze out an extra few days, come to Florida, man.
Why do you want me to go to Florida so bad?
What's wrong with you in like just like relationships with your friends? Like it'd be fun for you to come there because we'd be playing in the pool with our kids and it'd be a full circle.
Come to the British Islands.
Because I can't drive there, and unfortunately
so
driving
you want me to come to you, but you won't come to us.
No.
It's one-sided.
Because I don't know what I'm walking into there, and neither do you. At my place, I have a home ground. It's a condo complex. Maybe
there's like hula parties every night.
I'll wait till year 2. No, we don't do hula parties.
Why?
Oh, well, I'll tell you about that later.
Sounds like it's a whole other podcast.
No, I'm just making this up.
He's not making it up. He just doesn't want to get canceled again.
About hula? Stop saying cancel. I'm not going to be canceled.
We'll let you.
I'm going to cancel you. Should I be canceled?
Should we cancel Carson?
No, it's a hashtag cancel Paul. Hashtag cancel Paul. Make that go viral. Don't use me.
All right.
I have a family. He has no kid yet. It's me. Save me.
On that note,
subscribe.
Subscribe to our channel because it's going to be just me because Carson's canceled.
Yeah. And he's hashtag cancel Paul.
Just click the link above for his apology video.
And click the link below for Paul's video.
I'm so sorry. I love hula dancing. Hula hoops are my favorite.
I'm going to walk off before you get to the end of your disjointed subscribe pitch.
All right, guys.
And if you want, hit a big juicy bell, and then subscribe.
Let me do the thing.
Hold on, do you subscribe or hit the bell first?
Okay, so this is the plan of attack here.
The order. Here we go.
All right. So if you like this video, you're gonna smash that like button. You're gonna go and hit the subscribe, and you know what? That little bell up there, you're gonna ding that bell so you know when we upload.
It's down there though. I watched
your
down?
Video. It is down.
It's down.
But I don't know where you're putting it.
The bell.
What if we're underneath it?
No, the bell on the video is below you.
Okay, so hit the bell below.
Start again.
I don't want to start again.
Okay, fine, go.
And let's get the conversation going. Have you traveled with your kids? What are some travel tips?
Yeah, what did I miss that is like a nightmare for you guys when you travel? Because I feel like I didn't complain that much about traveling. I made it sound a little bit glamorous, but different, but glamorous. But I wonder what other nightmare travel stories are out there. I'd love to hear more.
And if you have any questions or any advice for me becoming a dad or a dad of 3 lovely
children.
Which one you haven't met? Yeah, well, bring him over.
Bad friend.
Get him on the podcast. Florida. He can be our Ralph.
Come to Florida.
Come to Florida. Yeah, let's get the conversation going. Thanks so much for listening. And, I forgot. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Music, iHeartRadio, TuneCore, Hardcore,
Pandora,
Screamo, rate us, hit that, rate us a 5-star. Just do it because, it helps with the algorithm.
And let us know that you guys are listening and watching. Reach out anyway. Instagram at the Dad Collective Pod, right?
Yes.
Reach out. We just want some validation for all this. So please let us know if you're watching, and we appreciate you so much. And on that note, I'm Daniel.
I'm Paul.
And this has been
the Dad Collective Podcast.
There you go. See you at the next one.
Toodaloo.
And goodbye.
Bye.
That's right. Make sure you tune in each and every week for a brand new episode of The Dad Collective.